We interrupt our programming on Al Jazeera to bring you some breaking news. And the International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defence Minister Yoav Gallant for alleged war crimes in the Gaza Strip. It's also issued warrants for Hamas leader Mohammed Deif al-Masri. Let's bring in Steph Vaessen, who's on the phone from The Hague, where those arrest warrants were issued. Talk to us about what the rejects for these warrants say, Steph.
Yes, the court has just issued these arrest warrants, 3 arrest warrants, one for Hamas leader known as Deif and 2 for the Israeli leaders Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister, and Defence Minister Yoav Gallant. The arrest warrants are for crimes against humanity and war crimes committed from at least October 8, 2023, until the request for the arrest warrants was issued by the prosecutor 6 months ago on May the 20th. There have been some really serious delays for issuing these arrest warrants. There was a lot of questions about if the ICC was capable of doing so, despite a lot of rejections by the parties that are involved in the ICC, especially also from Europe, from Germany, but also Israel has very much tried to avoid this by filing all kinds of complaints. But the ICC has now decided to reject these complaints, and they have said that these arrest warrants should now be issued.
And indeed, there had been also a great deal of pressure step on the ICC not to issue these warrants, particularly on the Israeli government, the Israeli leadership. Why has the court chosen to do so now?
Well, the question, the case is that now there is a new presiding judge of the pre-trial chamber that was issuing these arrest warrants. The previous presiding judge has informed the court that she was sick, that there was a medical issue. So she recently stepped down after months of basically investigating the case, and suddenly she disappeared from the case. And then a new presiding judge, a French judge, is now holding this case. And very quickly after the previous judge stepped down, this decision has now been taken. So this also gives us some answers on these delays. We're basically also buying time because now with the new judge, apparently there was no more hesitation, and he took this decision together with 2 other judges.
Remind our viewers, Step, of what the Israeli government and his former defense minister, as well as the Hamas leader, who's also been issued an arrest warrant with, what exactly are they being accused of?
Yeah, these are the crimes against humanity and war crimes. And what the prosecutor really laid out last May was that starving the population of Gaza was a very important point for him to ask for these arrest warrants, but also the fact that there have been murders, attacks, of course, from the Israeli army. But one of the things that really stood out was the fact that the Israeli authorities and the Israeli army have been starving the population of Gaza, and that's something that's a very specific war crime that also has already some experience at the ICC in previous cases. So I think the prosecutor hopes that there will be a lot of evidence that he can use to prove this case.
Okay. Steph, we know that Israel doesn't accept the jurisdiction of the ICC, doesn't recognize the jurisdiction of the ICC. So what will this mean for this case against the Israeli leadership, Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Gallant?
This will mean that every country that is part of the ICC, and from the top of my head, these are now 40 countries, they have the obligation to arrest Netanyahu, Gallant, and Deif when they come across these individuals. So this will mean in practice that it's going to be very difficult for Netanyahu to travel and Gallant as well to travel abroad, because the countries that are members of the ICC, for example, Germany, the UK, a lot of European countries as well, but also countries across the globe, have the obligation to arrest them and hand them over to The Hague, to the court.
Okay, step for the moment. Thank you very much.